Hello?
Hey.
Say it. You can say it.
Oh, she boxed so many boys in the Boogie Down Bronx. No one's gonna know what that means.
No, that's
Maybe they will.
who knows? We'll just have to find out till till the episode goes live and published. So we are live, but not
Word.
yet. So I'm gonna say my own little catchphrase, I guess. Well, not catchphrase. I'm gonna say my welcome back, I guess, because it it's been a while, but I'm still here. Nighttime with G is still going on. So yeah, let's just roll the intro. Okay, say it again before I roll it.
She bonked so many boys in the Boogie Down Bronx.
Oh my god. Well,
Woo! Season 2!
thank you for that wonderful intro. I appreciate you being here. This is season 2 of Nighttime with G, episode 1, and today I have the lovely Mr. Antonio Josue Sanchez. So give it up, everybody.
Thank you. Say less.
Has too much fun with it. For the record, your what's it called? Your blinds are hitting your face, so you're striped
I
up
know.
right
What
now.
is up with that? I just noticed that just now.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I do. I should.
Okay.
Oh my god.
If you want, yeah.
Because the lighting's all weird.
It's it's all good. It's all good. It was fine before we started, everybody. So don't think that we don't care about the lighting in the room.
Okay, I think that's
I was saying that I was saying that I don't think I don't we don't want people thinking that we don't care about the lighting. We do. We adjust.
Oh, we
as
care
need
about
to.
good lighting, honey.
So, but anyway, well, thank you for joining us. As I mentioned, I appreciate your presence, even though it's virtually. But I'm looking forward to revamping this project or hobby that has been literally in the back of my schedule. I would say I know I could have come back a long time ago. It's just life happened, this and that, but moving forward, we should have a steady and consistent schedule. And before I guess we move forward, happy belated birthday. I told you happy birthday yesterday, but happy belated.
Oh, thank you so much.
I hope you had a great time with family and friends. Based on your Snapchat stories, I think you did. Especially especially the last thing with what was it, your chocolate cake that you had made for yourself.
Oh my god.
It looked really good.
I did not know that those were gonna post. Or I meant to post them, but then at the same time I was like, no one's gonna watch this. And then I'm sure everyone did, so
Pretty much, yeah.
but it was
But your snaps and your baking always well, your snaps are very entertaining, and your baking looks delicious, even though I haven't had the honor to taste it, but it's all good. It's all good.
you and everyone else.
I know, literally. Everyone of your Austin peeps have been blessed with that new baking hobby or skill that you picked up on. So, shout out to you for that. But anyway, so I guess before we move a little too further into it, I definitely want to explain the new game plan for Nighttime with G. I think this is a better approach than what I had last season, and Antonio just so fortunately got lucky because he was an anticipated guest that people had been wanting to hear and see in the podcast. So I'm glad that we were finally able to make it happen. So thank you for that. But it might be a challenge. It might not. But I am leaving up to you or the current guest at the time of the episode the opportunity, or no, the power to popcorn choose the next person. We're throwing it elementary style.
So cool. I love that.
We're throwing it elementary
I'll have to think
style.
about, like, yeah,
you
girl,
can tell me.
to...
You can tell me by the end of the episode. I think that's a good enough time. Unless you have like a solid answer right now, but the reason why I'm doing that is because of course we're all adults now. We all got big jobs and everything now, so we have to take into account our availability and our schedule and our energy for that day, because sometimes we have hard days. So the reason why I'm doing that is so that it gives me the liberty, I guess, to work around that person's schedule. So let's say, for example, today with you, your availability was today, but let's say we invite somebody else and their availability isn't Wednesday, it's Monday, because Wednesday they have something going on. So that's the reason why I'm doing it in that way. Of course, if it can be around the same day, that'd be great, but I'm not pushing too much on that. So I think it's a pretty good idea. I think it'll give a good feel, or a good new vibe, I guess, to the culture and atmosphere, here at the Nighttime with GLLC. No, I'm just kidding. We're not a company yet, but we are copyrighted, so we're good on that. So I'm that's pretty much it for, I guess, new additions. It'll still be the same consistency of a weekly episode. Nothing has changed. We still have the lightning bolt in the back, and for the future, or for future episodes, I will have a green screen in the back, so y'all don't see the bedroom aspect over here, which honestly I don't mind it. Actually looks kind of cool. But anyway, nothing's changed. Same host. What's it called? New guests, of course, and old guests as well. But overall, still a great time. But yeah, with that being said, Antonio, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and anything new that has been happening.
Okay, girls. What is she gonna say? So I'm Antonio Sanchez. I am just newly 26 as of yesterday. It's so weird to say. I am a nurse, just a new ICU nurse. I work at Ascension Seton Medical Center, Austin. We are mostly a cardiac-based ICU, but we take care of like open heart patients too. Let's see. I love to play tennis, of course, as many of the people I'm sure watching know. I am a new aspiring baker. Probably like to bake more than cook. And I need to work on getting some of the Corpus girls some of this baking. It's long overdue. And let's see, what else can I say about myself? I don't know. I think that's kind of it. Oh, and I'm annoying. There's that. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No. As I said, what else? I was adding mystery to that. I guess follow-up question. It sounds bad now that I'm thinking of it in my head, but what do you think of being 26 now? Was that like a capstone? Not a capstone. What is the word? A milestone for you? Did you have any set goals in mind for it, or do you have like a new approach of life and everything?
I don't know.
How's the 26 life?
I used to look at my birthday as like this, like everything had to be like perfect and everything had to be like so amazing and so incredible on that one day. There's this song that plays in what's that movie? Legally Blonde, when she pulls up in her car to Harvard, and it's like, on this perfect day, nothing's getting in my way. Have you heard that song?
No.
Okay. Well, for the people who have, no, I'm just kidding. But but I used to think like, oh, it needs to be like this perfect day, like, nothing's gonna fuck it up. And I guess just I was kind of low key about it this year. I didn't like make a big stink like I usually do. I just kind of wanted it to be like a nice, fun day. That was like my main goal. I don't know. It's weird. I don't feel. No one's going to feel their age. Like, no one's going to feel 26 or whatever. But honestly, I kind of just feel like I felt since I was like 23, 22. I kind of just feel the same. I don't really think I have a new approach or that I'm going to carry myself any differently. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of just been living life as it comes the last few years. I haven't really made like big plans or anything. I feel like a lot of people are making so many like big life plans, and I'm just like not doing that. I say that, meanwhile, I've like transitioned into like a new job, learned like entirely different specialty. So it's kind of dumb for me to say. And I'm definitely taking on like, a bigger, I don't want to say like a larger role in like my tennis club, but I'm definitely like committing to more of the things that we're playing. Like I had never participated in a GLTA tournament. Sorry, not to veer off too much, but I'll just make this point quickly. My tennis club is part of the GLTA, which is the Gay Lesbian Tennis Association, which never knew that was even a thing. Never heard of that. And so this organization hosts tennis tournaments all over the world. Like you can play a GLTA tournament in Madrid, you can go to Spain, you can go to Pennsylvania. Like these tournaments are all over the world. And so I was like, this year, I think I'll just start by playing the ones that are in Texas. I can already start to feel myself wanting to like get out of Texas and go travel to like maybe like there was one in Philadelphia. I was like, well, my grandma's there. I could totally go and see her and like she can come watch me play tennis. That would be really cool. Probably watch me like, lose or something. But anyway, like we played Texas Cup. Like that's something I had never participated in. Like I've been in this club for 3 years and I haven't like really put myself out there to like participate in that kind of stuff. So that's not really like a big plan or anything.
For those of y'all that didn't know, but Antonio was a tennis star in high school and could have played at Wimbledon, but he decided to be a superhero and save lives, which is totally awesome. Shout out to you and shout out to all the nurses. So but yeah, if you don't mind, take us into a little bit about what it is to be a nurse, what it takes to be a nurse. Like what do you like and dislike about it?
What is it like to be a nurse? That's a loaded question, especially these days. My mom is a nurse, so I guess it runs in the family. But I guess it kind of does now since I'm a nurse too. But I don't know. It's kind of the only solid career choice I've ever been interested in. Even in high school, when we did PHS, or it's like this for people who don't know. Gerardo knows, but it was like practicum health science. It was like a course in high school designed to like expose you to like different careers in the healthcare field. It just kind of helps to like show you what kind of different avenues are available for you if you want to pursue something in healthcare. And I always knew that it was nursing, even from the get-go. Even
when you snuck out and went to Shipley's.
Yeah, that too. Girl, are we going to talk about that here? No, we can talk about it.
So just a little. You can give the context of it, I guess.
For PHS in high school, we would go to these various sites to like observe like care happening, whatever. And I didn't care for the chiropractor office that we were going to. I thought it was the stupidest thing I had ever seen, especially being like a 17-year-old kid in high school. I was like, this is dumb. So there happened to be a Shipley's right across the street from the chiropractor office. And instead of going to the chiropractor office that day, I took my ass to the Shipley's and I stayed there the whole clinical time. And then, of course, the chiropractor office was expecting me, had witnessed me walk to the Shipley's, and then I just like never emerged. And then they saw me get back on the bus and leave. And then they called my teacher, Miss Anderson, and she was very pissed. She sent my ass to ISS.
Which, for those of y'all that don't know, it's in-school suspension. That's what our district, I guess, would call it. But a little more context too. Antonio became now I could say he became a very prime example. So, if there is still a legacy left at our high school, it what is it called?
She used that shit as an example to tell the kids I had this one student and he went to Shipley's, and she totally told that story to the rest of her classes that came after.
Yes. Me and Antonio are 2 years apart, so we went to the same high school, and that's actually how we came about to knowing each other in college. But so that story has lived on. Our teacher passed it on for generations now, and like I said, now if it were to be shared, it would be with a pretty good message, because Antonio achieved his dream of becoming a nurse, and that's pretty cool. It's definitely something you need to highlight more.
It's funny to look back.
Give
and
yourself
think
more
on.
credit for it. Yeah. For sure. I mean, it wasn't easy. I definitely can say that. I remember seeing you study constantly in college, and it was,
It was definitely the most challenging thing I had ever done academically up to that point. I'd still say that it was. And then you go through all of that, and then, nursing school doesn't really prepare you to how to actually even be a nurse, which is funny to say. It teaches you all the different disciplines of nursing, but it doesn't actually teach you time management as far as nursing goes. You need to see your patients, see who's the sickest, give them their medicines, follow up with a doctor if you have problems or questions. What did the nurse before you not do that you need to do now? Different things like that. Learning how to trust your gut if something's not right with your patient, if you think something's going downhill quickly. Nursing school gives you those little tidbit pieces of what you should look for, but it's just a lot of stuff that you have to learn in the moment. It's not something that you can just know how to do. It gives you a good foundation of how to be a nurse, I guess I should say, maybe. But in general, I think that it's been really hard for us the last couple of years. Not to make it morbid on the podcast, but COVID has been really rough on us. We've seen a lot of people leave the profession to do realty, or just leave the profession altogether. Lots of people have left to do travel nursing, which is way more popular now than I think it ever was before. Just because of everything that went down during COVID, I would not be surprised if nurses from my generation don't stick around to continue to be what we call bedside nurses, that are nurses that are taking care of patients in the hospital. That's what we call bedside. So I would be very surprised to see a large quantities of nurses stay at the bedside long into their career. My mom is, in her 50s, and she's still at the bedside. I mean, she recovers people from surgery, so she's not quite doing the same thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a major nursing shortage within the next like 20 or so years. So major that it'll be like a really serious problem. Because they always say there's a nursing shortage. Like they always say that. But within the nursing community, we think it's like something that they fabricate so that, you know, people will feel this sense of urgency to like stay at the bedside. When in reality, COVID has like put a microscope on like the huge problems that we have within our field. So anyway, I won't like get into like the deep whatever.
No, you're good. Those are definitely
people at home are like, oh, this is boring.
It's definitely good points to discuss. I'm getting educated as you're speaking, so appreciate that. But I think though that that's kind of where, you know, I guess where life kind of really is at this point. You know, you can't really get prepared no matter what you do. I mean, you know, K through 12 can only do so much too, you know, but at some point the individual has to, you know, think for themselves. And it's just kind of how, like you were saying, you know, that nursing school itself, you know, even though it was there and it taught you everything you needed, there was still stuff that, you know, wasn't covered, but not because they didn't want to cover it. It was just because you kind of need the experience to obtain those skills.
Yeah,
and
it just,
stuff
it
like
has
that.
to happen organically.
Yeah.
And I think it takes someone who's adaptable and, you know, needs to be able to think quickly, problem solve. Those are all just like really important qualities that I think you need as a nurse. We see a lot of people that are incredibly book smart and really great, like in nursing school. But honestly, those people, they don't do well as actual like bedside nurses, which is so weird. Those typically tend to be the people who don't do particularly well when it comes to the actual in clinical setting. So.
There's more than just book knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, and getting A's.
Everyone needs a little bit of a street marks and, you know, knowing how to read the room and stuff like that. So.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But overall, I mean, I feel like if I'm like being like blunt about it, like I feel like there isn't anyone else that could handle it as well as you did, because like I said, you know, we were roommates in college, and you know, I saw your struggle and everything, and I know you were always concerned about your grades and everything, you know, as a responsible student should. Yeah. I know that you, whenever you received your grades, you were very well aware of like, okay, I earned this grade. Like you truly earned it in the sense of like you studied your ass off as much as you could, to where everything that, you know, you had to learn, you learned, but the grade still didn't define you. You know, you still knew more than the grade, basically. So
for sure. And I definitely felt just so much immense love and support from you guys. I think, especially when I think many of the guys will remember this. Whenever I went to take the exit, do you remember that?
I think so.
It was like this exam that we needed to take to pass to get out of nursing school. And it was like, and I kept calling it, what did I used to say? It was like our Infinity War of nursing school, like the last semester, because it was just like the fucking worst, like our biggest test, basically. Because it was over everything we had learned up to that point. And if you didn't pass it, then you had to take it again. And then if you failed it a second time, you like wouldn't get your diploma and stuff. So it's like a big deal. And I remember coming home that particular day, and all of you guys just happened to be at the apartment. I don't even remember what you guys were doing, but I remember telling y'all and just feeling an incredible amount of just like accomplishment and relief. And y'all were just so supportive, and we're so happy that I passed. And it's actually, the score that I got is actually the passcode on my phone at this current moment.
That is good. I mean, it's 6 digits, I'm assuming, or is it
well,
4?
it's a 4-digit thing, but I had to add 2 digits because my phone is a 6 code. So I got 1012 on the exit, and I think that's a 90 something. I don't remember what it converts to. I think it.
Okay, you're gonna have to change your password after this episode.
Oh my
we don't
god!
want anyone
Yeah,
hacking your stuff.
giving out my phone password to everyone.
And now you got to be careful with it.
I know it's also my watch passcode.
Make sure that. Oh my god! Just
Isn't
tell
that,
everybody
is that
your social.
embarrassing? Like this test happened.
No, I mean
5 years. 2018 was
4. No,
4 years ago.
4 years.
4
ago.
years ago, and it's that's embarrassing.
I mean, but look at this is how I always like to say. Just look at how far you've come. Don't look back in the sense of like, excuse me, to remember the struggle, but instead look at it as in like, oh, I made it this far.
Cries.
I made it this far. Like you made it this far. So, shout out to you for that. What's it called? I do tell you this a lot, I guess in private, but I guess I'll share it in public.
He's sharing
now. But I definitely admire and have mad respect and love for everyone that has been in my life, of course, and has been a part of the friend group and has played major roles in my life as well. But like with you, I don't think you believe me as much because I don't know if it was because whenever we met in college, it was kind of not really forced. I wouldn't call it forced, but like we kind of were set up to meet each other because we knew, or our former teacher like knew that we both went to the same school, so we both like knew the same program or whatever, same career choice, and I ended up not pursuing the nursing degree after all in my undergrad. So. But that still didn't take away from what I was going to say. That I definitely have always had a huge admiration for your work ethic and your overall persistency to obtain your degree and actually put it into practice and serve as you should, because you're serving the community by providing care as needed and depending on the specialty and everything. So, thank you for definitely being a good role model for myself and many others. So I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that looks up to you. So, but I just wanted to share that. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I always think about that, she really, I'm glad that she like set up that connection because I mean, I was really worried when I first met you, actually. I think I've told you this before, but I was really worried when I first met you that you would get this idea that I was trying to recruit you for ODFI. And it was funny because you ended up being interested in it all on your own. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is great. Here's my person to bring to the recruitment events. Because, they used to be like, bring someone or whatever. And I'm like, I literally don't y'all are my male friends. Who do you think I'm bringing to this? Like, I don't have male friends. Y'all are it. So it's just, I love the way that like our friendship grew and blossomed and where it's at now. It's cool that it started from that, in connection that she made for us. Try not to say her name because I don't know if she's gonna do this. I don't know.
You said it earlier.
I know. Her name's already out there on the platforms.
No, what's it called? I wouldn't even be surprised if she was famous already at this point. She definitely raised, her kids very well, and she raised her family very well too. I definitely was a person to admire.
Oh, for sure.
And I guess I do thank her for my success as well, because I feel like with her pushing me to, do the certifications and stuff like that while in high school, like, it definitely would have if I hadn't done that, I would have not been where I am, I guess, right now. You know, every little bit helps and counts.
Yeah, she was always so
You know, shout out to
encouraging.
yeah, she very inclusive, never exclusive. She was always willing to help, and you know, definitely need a lot of those people, a lot more of those people in this world. So, but what's it called? What I was gonna say though is that the only thing that I would say sucks about life now is that there's there's that distance factor that has prevented us, or you know, everyone in general, from like having the bonds and moments that we had in college,
Yeah.
because you know we were living together or we were neighbors, and you know that's the only thing that I do miss a lot. And
Yeah.
like honestly, it's nothing against my local neighbors, I guess, or friends that I still have in the area. I don't know, like I feel like work consumes me more than what I actually think it does, because like I said, I tried revamping the podcast for a while, but I don't know, it was just a little hard to do it. But regardless though, I mean, I can't complain. I can't ask for anything more than everybody's health and ensuring that they woke up the next day. So that's really all I can ask for and be grateful about. So, but anyway, with that being said, I guess we can move on to another topic of conversation. Antonio is actually a big fan of Transformers.
He is.
And if the tapestry is fooling you, if the don't let the tapestry fool you. He is also a fan of Avatar.
Huge fan.
The animated series, not the blue people.
Every time I say that, I know people aren't an Avatar fan.
Tell us a little bit about.
Sorry, go ahead.
Tell us. No, you're good. I said, tell us a little bit about. I guess how those things came into your life and became like such a huge part of you.
I would love to.
I honestly would never expected. Yeah, I never expected like to have someone that was that passionate of the old school like Transformers, because you're also a fan of the old school Marvel as well. Mm-hmm. So I definitely know you're cultured in those aspects. So, but anyway, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Transformers, the cartoon, I used to see on TV and stuff. So I don't know. I just, it's like that a great, old theme, good versus evil, someone who's like awesome and righteous, like Optimus Prime, versus someone who's like maniacal and manipulative and like evil, but also thinks that they're right. That's just how Megatron is. They kind of don't really portray him in that way in like the movies that Michael Bay has made, and I think that the storylines from the old series are far better than any of the movies he's made. But of course I'm going to go see the movies. Like, who's not going to go? It's just like an incredible.
Speaking of,
I think they're going to make the Beast Wars.
Are you?
Which
yes.
I am.
Yes, I was going to say, are you aware of that?
Knowledgeable about the Beast Wars, I will admit. I know like what it is, and there was actually a couple episodes of the old show of them like in an alternate type of like dimension where they encountered what the Beast Wars kind of people were like. And then there's even a couple of series on Netflix that are like the old show, but of them on Cybertron that they've like revamped. I can't think of the name of them right now, but Little John, like our brother Little John, not like the rapper. Little John actually knows what I'm talking about, but there's several shows on Netflix right now of like the old Transformers story that are super good. Highly would recommend them. Great storylines, very accurate to what the comics used to be. But yeah, I'm there's a movie actually, and actually I'll grab it just for the purpose of this.
Okay. I'll just keep the conversation going as he grabs the movie, but I feel like Transformers and Marvel have. I was just keeping the conversation going for that pause. But yeah, I feel like Transformers and Marvel definitely share that multiverse aspect to where they just kind of have to have different universes to where each individual character basically resides in, as opposed to it just being like one whole world, I guess.
And
so,
like
I don't know.
the fifth Transformers movie, a lot of us thought they were going to remake this. This came out in 1986, and it was super good. It's kind of sad though, because this movie's been out since 1986, so if you get it spoiled for you, like, too bad. Like, Optimus Prime dies, Megatron dies, and he's reincarnated. It's super good, like, lots of drama. I cried when Optimus Prime died. But it was super good. And I thought that the fifth Transformers movie was going to be a remake of that, because it has some of those elements in the movie, but it's not, which totally sucked. So hopefully one day someone will revamp. If someone's listening, out there listening, revamp this for the 21st century, because the world would love to see it. We can move on to Avatar: Last Airbender.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I guess follow-up question to kind of keep it in topic. Who is your favorite Transformer? And it could be from any series, universe, whatever.
Probably Optimus Prime. I know it's kind of lame and cliche, but he's my favorite.
Who comes? Who's close to second? I guess. And also why?
Oh,
you know,
well, he's
just kind of like too
he's
big.
A great leader. He makes like all the hard choices and decisions, and he always fights for what's right. And
I can definitely vouch that is definitely Antonio's presidency whenever he was president of our fraternity. So definitely a prime example of that's kind of that's a pun, no pun intended. He was a prime example.
Oh God, are people still talking about that? I'm just kidding. That was a fun year for us, but also a hard year.
But yeah, again, what's it called, for a good reason, I guess. Life put you in that step that you were definitely chosen to handle that situation. But yeah. So second favorite.
Might be Bumblebee. I'm that cliche girl.
Oh my God!
I'm that girl.
Wow. I'm just kidding. I'll share mine just because they're definitely different choices. If
you say Megatron, we're done.
I don't know. Like I mean, of course. No, I like Bumblebee and basically the Autobots. It's kind of weird to even say like, oh, I like the Decepticons, because it just doesn't make sense to be on their side. You know what I mean? But I will say they do have the more exotic vehicles in what was it?
Fair.
Age of Extinction? No, not Age of Extinction. What is it? Is Age of Extinction actually? Whenever, or is it the last?
Which one?
What was the fifth one called? The fifth movie called?
I think you're right. Age of Extinction.
The Last Prime, right?
No,
it's something about the Prime. The Last Prime. Because it's Transformers, Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen,
of the Moon.
Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon, Transformers 4, Age of Extinction,
what's the
and then
one? It's called something...
Transformers 5, the last night.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The Last Night.
You would think I would know this.
Yeah, so in the Last Night, there's the villain that plays
Galvatron?
Well, obviously the villain in the movie.
Megatron.
The Lamborghini?
Lamborghini.
No, it is Galvatron. I
Wait,
think.
who are you talking about? Sorry.
The Lamborghini.
The pink one?
The Decepticon that's a Lamborghini. No. The Lamborghini. He's a black vehicle. Black Lamborghini. You don't remember? He's hunting down what's his name?
Cade?
Mark Wahlberg's character. Yeah.
Cade?
What's his name? Cade. Yeah. He's hunting him down because they find out that Optimus Prime is hiding in his barn and stuff like that. And the Decepticon that I'm talking about, I forgot his name, but he's in the Lamborghini silhouette or whatever.
Oh,
And
the bounty hunter
my point with that is that they always get like
they
the
do.
good
They
vehicles,
always get the
but
good shit.
going back to, like I said, to my but going back to my favorite one, I will say it'd be Wheelie, but he is a Decepticon. I just think that it's probably the best invention out of the entire like Transformers creation, I guess. Wheelie is the
Right.
RC truck. So yeah, that's why I just thought it was pretty cool for that to be like a important or significant character. But anyway, and then I guess second to that would be Skids and Mudflap, which are the two twin. I think they're Kia Souls, aren't they?
I don't know. They're
ice cream
not,
trucks.
Yeah, I don't
at
know.
first,
I
but
think
then
you're
they
right.
become.
Maybe you're right. I'm not sure, but I know who you're talking about.
I need to get
one of
educated
them-
on this again. I need to catch up.
One
I
of
feel
them
like
I should have mentioned is RC. I don't think she makes a brief appearance in maybe Revenge of the Fallen, I think is the one that you see that she's a motorcycle, but there's like a girl motorcycle,
yes,
and she's like Optimus Prime's like named unofficial like lover. They like,
I think it's in Dark of the Moon actually, where she makes an appearance
that's
because there's
right.
a
She
male
was pink.
character that's also a motorcycle. So I think it's Dark of the Moon where that one comes up. But yeah, I like Skids and Mudflap a lot. They were significant characters in Revenge of the Fallen. Whenever the Devastator, the multi-transformer machine, that reminded me of Power Rangers, how they used to morph together and create that giant robot. Do you remember?
I know what you're talking about, but I was not a Power Rangers fan. And the gays are going to reap me for filth because a lot of gays were like Power Rangers fans. Like a lot of those kids who watch that are like gay now. I don't know.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
or like a lot of people who like Pokemon are like gay now. I'm serious.
Okay.
You think I'm kidding? There's like a huge gamer.
No,
There's like
I'm
a
not.
huge gamer community within the gay community. It's like weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, like these people like
I was unaware of this, but
love like all those video games you and Izzy and like Ivan like. Is it Ivan? I don't know. Something I'll be like in video games. All those video games y'all like.
JD.
Yeah, JD plays video games.
JD too.
A lot of people,
Yeah,
there's like a
plays
huge
Fortnite with
gay
us.
community that like loves that shit. Yeah, I'm not in them, but they live, laugh, and love for that.
Okay. Well, I guess with that being said, what's your favorite Marvel movie? We're getting into Marvel now. Oh, we skipped Avatar. My bad. Favorite Avatar character, and then
Definitely
we'll go into
Katara.
Okay.
What did you just ask me? You said favorite Avatar character, and then what?
And then we were gonna move on to Marvel, but we'll talk about Avatar. I almost skipped
that's
that
fine.
topic on accident.
It's not officially on the list of topics. I don't even know what the list of topics are, but there's no list of topics. Definitely Katara. Love the Water Tribe. Um,
What was her brother?
Sokka.
Her brother's name?
Mm-hmm.
Sokka.
I definitely know much
It's
more
one
about
of-
Avatar than Transformers. I've watched it many more times. I've watched the series from start to finish probably 4 or 5 times, and I've seen The Legend of Korra 3 times.
Oh, I forgot about that new season.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
new
not as big a
series.
fan of Legend of Korra.
But can we both agree? Can we both agree at how overly hyped the live action Avatar movie was, and then for it to be such a bad failure? Like I felt bad for that movie. Like I didn't. I'm not
Oh, I
hating on
will.
it bad because I honestly like couldn't even tell you like the full storyline on it, but it's just it was
Fucking
just
garbage.
bad.
It
Like
was unfinished. Terrible
yeah,
graphics. The
CGI.
storyline fucking sucked, and it was sped up too fast, and it wasn't done. And they kept
Yeah.
calling Aang Ong, and I was like, it was terrible. Dragging what we thought was going to be the cinematic masterpiece of our time was absolute fucking garbage. It was like, I mean, because Avatar is just an incredible like story. It's about like genocide and really like tough, complicated topics that are relevant in today's world, like genocide, imperialism, dictatorships, just so many like preserving culture, like so many like incredible things wrapped up in like this cartoon series with like dynamic characters and great storytelling and incredible like character development. Like, I can't just there's not enough I can say about how good it is.
Yeah. It was definitely one of my favorite shows to watch whenever I was growing up. Mind you, I grew up on off in PBS, but whenever we had cable for about a year, I definitely binge watched the what's called the entire Avatar series.
And it was like,
especially because I was watching it as it was coming out, because you know how like
what a time
would
to
be
be
released
alive
back then, where you would wait the next week for it.
What a time to be alive!
Yes,
like when Aang got shot by Azula, we didn't know if he was gonna fucking live. We had no idea. That was terrible. We did.
We had to wait a whole week.
We like cried, or at least I
did. For the newer generations, y'all didn't know the struggle of being into a show and then having to wait a week to find out what happens next.
And then you'd have to fucking make sure you were there at the right time, or record it on your VCR.
Yes,
because DVR wasn't a thing yet.
VHS. Not
what did
VCR.
I say?
VCR? What's a VCR?
VCR is the same thing as VHS.
Is that
VCR?
Is it? I've never heard of VCR.
VCR. VHS, what? VSR, they're the same thing.
I'm looking this up right now.
Wait, what did I say?
I guess I grew up on VHS then. I looking at this product itself, Oh, okay. I see why. So I guess the actual disc cartridge is a VHS, and then VCR is the actual device, like that plays the VHS.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
If that makes sense. So the VHS is the movie. And
yeah, we are.
We're both.
So, girl, you had to make sure you had empty VHS tape and a functioning VCR. So you could fucking record it if you weren't gonna be at home to watch it. Because they would play it, and then
Mhm.
some other bullshit would come on, and then they would play like the new episode like again like an hour later.
That, or you would have to wait till midnight, sometime
Yeah,
during the
some like
weekend to watch
random.
it, because most of them would air
Yeah,
on
or like they would
Fridays.
play like last week's episode, and then the episode that was new. Sometimes they would do that.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
No, yeah.
Oh my god. I'm glad they showed. So originally, this is like extra information that no one cares about, but I'm sure that you remember this. But originally, the finale was 4 separate episodes, but they showed them all at once. But like when it was like the next section of the finale or next part, they would like show you a new like name of the episode. Like I think the very last episode when Aang actually defeats Fire Lord Ozai, I think that one's called Avatar Aang. I don't know what the others are called. It's like Sozin's Comet or something, part 1 and 2 or something. I don't know.
It's kind of like Stranger Things,
Yeah.
how they had them in chapters. So basically, you would get a new chapter. But yeah, I remember those good old days. I miss TV like that, because honestly, nowadays I can't sit and watch.
And then it's
TV
hard because
whatsoever. Like I have to, it has
the
to be a
entire
streaming
universe
service.
like was on the same page. Like if you were watching the new Avatar episode, so was everyone else. Or if you missed it, people would end up caching it
Yeah.
on their VCR. But now, like, you know, it would like Stranger Things is a good example. Like, have you seen all of season 4? Like, that's like the thing. It's like, you know, we can talk about when, you know, certain people end up dead because, you know, you don't want to spoil it for somebody else. So.
Yeah, that's pretty hard though. I mean, we have
That
social media now, so
too.
it's like nearly impossible to
That too.
to avoid
Like,
that.
if
So
you're not going to watch...
they definitely... No, I was just gonna say they, you know, kids nowadays definitely don't know that blessing, you know, because honestly, I feel like we took it for granted, not knowing about shows. Like there was no way of somebody spoiling it unless they were your sibling that lived with you and they were there whenever the
Yes.
episode aired. You know, that was the only way of somebody spoiling it. But other than that, like you said, everyone was on the same page about whatever show it was, whatever series that was premiered or whatever. So it definitely was
and even adult shows like did some people's parents watch like True Blood, which is like this really apparently like super good like vampire show. It was like on HBO. It was like kind of blood. It was like blood and gory.
No, I told you we literally had on off in PBS. So
love it.
Those are my channels, and we had a year of cable that I remember having. So other than that, I don't think I really grew up with a lot of the luxuries now that we have now. I guess Wi-Fi was definitely not something that was at my house. I had gaming consoles, and I kid you not, I had no idea what the internet was. So I miss those times. But yeah. So I guess I'm glad that we both agree, you know, Avatar real life or live action sucked, but not too much hate because the series, you know, is definitely the series itself is definitely
It is
cool and nice, very structured and everything. So we can't hate on it too much, you know. I just hope that they revamp it at some point and, you know, make a better live action with better producers and directors.
The original creators are getting together with Nickelodeon, and they're making a Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series. I'm scared because I don't know how it's going to be.
I'm excited,
but I know that. Yeah, I don't.
You don't want to be disappointed.
And I know that Mark and I can't think of the other guys. Mark and Brian, I think, are the creators' names. I just hope that they're... I know that they're involved and they're doing their best, I'm sure. So I just want it to be good.
You just don't want them to steer too much away from the accuracy, I guess, of the storyline
I don't
and
know.
stuff
It's
like
never
that.
going to be perfect. I'm sure there's going to be things that are going to be different. So I just am going to have to just look at it with a new lens of whatever.
I think that we're going into a good era for up and coming actors and actresses, because even if the character itself might look a little different than the actual character from
that I
the
don't care
animated
about.
series or whatever, like I still think that as long as like they keep the story itself like accurate, it doesn't matter who plays it. But which is honestly it's honestly one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to for Marvel. I don't know if you were made aware or not, but they revealed Phase 5 and 6 for the MCU. Phase 4 will be wrapped up in November with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So I'm looking forward to that. But as far as like the Phase 5 and 6, I know it's going to require a lot of newer generations and newer faces and obviously new ideas too, because they're going to have to make these projects come to life.
They're going to have to keep the fandom engaged, because I don't know how the majority of people feel, but I think I'm starting to get a little bit burned out on all this stuff.
I think the reason why you feel that way, I felt it too, but it wasn't until after Doctor Strange, because we got left on a pretty big cliffhanger with Spider-Man.
Oh.
Everyone was hoping to get answers because of the cliffhanger with Spider-Man, and then boom, like completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
it was significant. Don't get me wrong, because it's still a part of the timeline or whatever, but it was just another movie basically. It wasn't
like it didn't add
oh, here are your
storyline
answers
for me.
So,
or I think for anyone, because really you didn't need to see Loki to understand what was happening in the Multiverse of Madness. If you didn't see WandaVision, the shit probably didn't make any sense to you. Well, you probably didn't.
I mean, then again, WandaVision didn't make sense either whenever people started watching it, because it was a big risk that they did whenever that first episode, whenever that first episode aired.
Everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?"
But it literally made no sense. Yeah, it made no sense, but people still enjoyed it. After
it was revealed to you. After
I think the third episode
nuzzled in and kind of waited around, like it was absolutely fantastic.
Definitely. What's your favorite Marvel superhero?
Man, it fluctuates. I don't know if I have a particular favorite. I really enjoy them as an entire unit. Like, I think I enjoy the Avengers movies the most because they're all there. But it fluctuates. I don't know if I have a particular favorite. I love Thor. I mean, who doesn't? He's swinging around that big stonky hammer. And yes.
Have you seen the new movie?
Super good. I didn't know.
Okay, cool. I don't want to talk about that one too much because I feel like it's still fresh and I don't want
I mean, I don't
spoilers.
know. I mean,
but
sorry, go ahead.
We could.
All I was going to say
go for it.
I knew from the comics, and they show this in the previews, so it's not like I'm giving anything away, but I knew this from the comics that eventually Jane Foster would become Thor, but I just didn't know how. So that was like an interesting storyline to see. That I enjoyed very much. I think it gave me more into their progressing storyline, so I enjoyed that very much.
Yeah, me too. I did like it, but I think they could have done better with it. But that's just probably my opinion. But But yeah, sorry, you were saying though your favorite. So Thor is on or Avengers overall, but
Captain
Thor is
America,
one of them.
and I think Captain America just because he's like such a
Chris Evans.
well, yes, that he's gorgeous and he has America's ass, but just because his character is like so like kind of like this righteous, like trying to do what's right for people type of character. I guess that's just a type of character that I'm always going to be drawn to. Sticking up for the little guy type of character. Maybe we'll do like a top 3. I don't know who my other would be. Who are yours? Because I can't think of a third one.
Well, for sure, like you said, overall Avengers definitely have a very special place in my heart. But I feel like because I grew up with them as they were like being released. But I will say though that my all-time Marvel character or superhero would be Cyclops. He's been, but the main reason why is probably a sentimental thing. I had a Cyclops like teddy bear when I was younger, and I had no idea like who he was, but I just liked the outfit. Once I learned about his superpower and everything, I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. It'd be pretty cool to be nicknamed that as your superhero name because you have laser vision. So he's definitely on there. And then but both the character and the superhero, because I don't know if you choose or categorize your favorites like that, but I like to I guess I like to consider their persona as well as their superhero that they play. So for example, whenever you mention Chris Evans, I love his Steve Rogers character, but I also love Captain America. Same thing with like Deadpool, for example. Deadpool overall, he's my current or my up to date overall favorite Marvel superhero character, I would say, because I don't really consider him much of a superhero. He gets into trouble just as much as he saves people, I guess. But he's definitely overall my favorite. They did a phenomenal job with having Ryan Reynolds play his character. What's called Wade Wilson. So it's they were spot on with him for that, just as much as they were spot on with Cyclops, as much as they were spot on with Captain America, and basically all the first Avengers in a sense. So, but yeah, I would say Cyclops and Deadpool for X-Men and Marvel or Avengers. Sorry.
Do you know why there's like this dislike for Captain Marvel? Because I like her. She's not my. What?
I haven't seen her movie. I think that's the only Marvel movie I haven't seen from the MCU.
Well, I haven't seen. I
heard I didn't miss much.
But I mean,
but I don't know.
I haven't seen Deadpool, so I don't know.
So I guess from an outsider perspective, I think the reason why there's disliking in hers is because she kind of just came into the MCU, into the Avengers. There wasn't really like a I mean, because
her movie came out right before.
They obviously said how.
And it came out after.
Not Endgame.
It came out after Infinity War.
Before Endgame.
But before Endgame, right? Because Endgame came out a year after Infinity War. Yeah, it was just.
It was just kind of thrown there.
Piece of the storyline that I guess people weren't invested in because it wasn't like we had followed her through XYZ number of movies, like Captain America or the Winter Soldier. Or Bucky, I guess I should say. So, I don't know. I mean, I like Captain Marvel, but I don't understand why there's like dislike for her. I guess that's why. I don't know.
if anything though, I feel like any person that is a part of the Avengers or even in the MCU like is pretty cool overall, just because they played a significant character in stuff that we grew up with, like reading comics growing up and stuff like that, like being able to actually see the character portrayed in real life, it should be mind blowing. I don't know if that's just me,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I don't know, but what's it called? I we're getting a little close to our time limit for the episode, so I kind of wanted to recap and not reintroduce, reopen the of course the new trend or the new challenge that Nighttime with G will have, which is who will be the next guest. And hopefully they can make it happen. I definitely don't want to add pressure on it. If we can't work out with them, we can obviously have a substitute as needed. But while you say that, or while you think about that, I wanted you to share this is another thing I want to also end with, I guess. What is your message to the world? Like something that, if this podcast were to ever make it big, what would your message be to the world itself? Where it's standing currently and where it could be, or just overall like a positive message, because there's definitely plenty of negativity in the world. I want to end on good notes always, and it could honestly be a quote that you might have heard. So
My message
just yeah.
Goodness. I think I would say keep your heart open. Like be open-minded. Be open to change. In the people that you love, the people that you know, and be open. Keep your heart open in terms of like changes in your own life. And then I would also say, just for people to educate themselves, on what's happening in the world today. I think that the misinformation of like COVID has really, made people mistrustful of like general media and whatnot. So I would just say like do your own actual research, like of whatever you're interested in, not just like one-sided blind research of a Google search. Like do actual like researching of things, I would say. And let's see, who am I going to name? I don't know. I don't know why this is like, it's like come in my mind like multiple times, but for some reason I want to say David. But he's not a new guest, I don't think.
Okay. No, he was on for season 1.
I don't know why I want David to be the next guest. We can make it happen. But I guess I'm choosing David.
We can make it happen. If it's your intuition, then yeah, if for some reason, like I said, we can't get him on board about it, we'll figure out the plan. But I kind of want to do that tradition to where like we basically get popcorn and the person gets surprised with like, hey, you got popcorn by Antonio to be the next guest. So,
yeah, I like that.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool to do. So, but anyway, overall, yeah. Overall, how do you feel about it? About the whole podcast? I know it was your first time. Like I said, you were long anticipated by many, so I appreciate you for being here. But yeah, take us through your thought process of finally being on the.
I really
on this side, I guess. So.
I think I didn't expect to go over as much deep stuff as we did. I was anticipating more like acting a fool, but I don't know. Maybe next time we do this, we can do that. I don't know. I hope I gave the people what they wanted. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I definitely wanted to still remain the original idea as to why I wanted to have a podcast,
Yeah.
which was to catch up still with everybody. I as much as I want to actually be or have an audience in a sense, like I my main goal though is still to be able to use this podcast as a catch up opportunity for whoever I have as my guest, and be able to catch up on what's new with their life and stuff like that. But since this was your first time, I kind of want to I guess I want
Yeah.
to wanted to keep it more personal, kind of introduce you, give you a good feel of what it is to be on this side. But I definitely, like I said, I appreciate you for taking the time, and for sure, we can make it happen if you want to be back on.
Yeah, I would
Back
love
on the
to.
podcast for this season. So we'll for sure. Okay. Well, with that being said, we can go ahead and say our farewells. So, Antonio, do you have anything
Um,
last minute to say?
Not anything out of the ordinary, but thank you so much for having me on the podcast. This has been a really fun experience, and I'd love to do it again in the future. And wishing you the best of luck with season 2 and going forward. I hope that you continue to enjoy this and it continues to be something that you like doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. So, but for sure, like I said, we can make it happen to where we have you on again. So, I'm looking forward to that. Um, I wish you well as
Thank
well
you,
in your
Zane.
career
Give
and future
Dorothy my
endeavors.
best.
So, until I will. um, with that being said, this has been season 2, episode 1 of Nighttime with G. Shout out to Antonio Josue Sanchez for being the special guest this evening. But yeah, with that being said, we'll roll the outro and we'll call it a day.
Wait, can they see that? No, that's okay.